All right, thanks for agreeing to sit down for a chat. I know the organizers are keen to get you on camera, and would you mind to just introduce yourself, your name, and then tell us more about your organization, Incofin, that you work with. Thanks.
So my name is Dina Pons. I'm partner and regional director for East Asia at Incofin Investment Management. What is Incofin? Incofin is an impact investor with two key focuses, financial inclusion and agriculture, providing both debt and equity around the world with $1 billion of assets under management.
Brilliant. So we're so happy that you joined the forum. And I think you came from a panel, yesterday you did a panel with us about financial inclusion, right?
Indeed.
Right. Yes. So we just keen to get your thoughts on this because, you know, you're kind of a thought leader in this field. Do you think it's sustainable to invest in microfinance? Is it?
Of course.
A little provocative question there.
Yes. I mean, I would say that microfinance is the proof that you can want to solve a social problem in a financially sustainable way, right? And I think in this regard, microfinance is the example that has been inspiring what we now call the broader impact investment sector.
Okay.
And in this regard, I tend to say that it's the laboratory for impact investment, or sometimes the grandmother of impact investment, because we've been proving that you can be both socially responsible and financially sustainable. And we've cracked that code, we've cracked that nut over the past 15 years. So yes, it is possible to have a viable business solution in order to solve a financial exclusion problem. That's
fascinating. So do you think that, what do you think is brewing then in microfinance now? If it's a laboratory, what do you think it might, cook up next for the impact sector?
Sure. I mean, I think that, we spent the past 15 years understanding how do we build scale in order to be financially sustainable. That was one key issue. I think to a large extent in many countries around the world, again, we managed to see what are the ingredients in order to be a viable business. So that's one. Second, we spent a lot of time meanwhile saying, okay, as I'm very focused on making my business financially viable, how do I maintain my social, mission? Yes. And we have, in this regard, developed a unique set of concepts around what we call social performance management.
Yes.
And I would claim that today, our industry should pursue a very strong focus on making sure that social performance, as those institutions now, outgrow us, investors, as those institutions become more mainstream, as those institutions might be now tempted to become commercial banks, that then maintain this social mission. And I think for me, this is a very, very brewing topic that we need to continue putting very high on the agenda.
So you called it social
performance management.
So how would you define that in a nutshell?
Social performance management is if you're a business and you've been created because you want to solve a social problem.
All right.
So for instance, you're a business and you say, I want to fix financial exclusion.
Yes.
Then you have a social mission around it, is it?
Yes.
And the idea is social performance is all the systems that you put in place in order to make sure that you're going to achieve this social mission. Right. So how are you going to develop the right products for your clients not to be over indebted, to have transparent pricing information when they decide to have a loan with you? How are you going to treat your staff in order to ensure that they're not incentivized just to push money, but that they're also incentivized to treat their client well? How do you make sure that your board does not only get financial data in their pack on a quarterly basis, but that they also look at social goals such as how many farmers are we touching? Are these clients satisfied? Is their income increasing as they avail to our financial services product? All this is called social performance management. So it's an equally strong pillar next to financial performance.
So who helps institutions with social performance management? Is that something that Incofin can do as well?
Incofin has been one of the pioneer or leading investors around the conversation on social performance management. I also want to give credit to an industry organization that is called the Social Performance Task Force, which has gathered thousands of microfinance or financial inclusion stakeholders and say, hey, let's stop talk about subjective concept around social performance. Let's give it objectivity.
Metrics.
metrics, indicators,
Okay.
standards, and this is an institution that is owned by everybody.
Right.
And today I was saying, why is microfinance the grandmother of impact investment? Is because microfinance is the body of stakeholders that are created standards around social performance management, and these standards are actually source of inspiration for the other subsectors that are wanting to do impact. So when the energy sector says, wait, how do I make sure that my strategy is socially responsible, they look at our standards, they adapt them, because they do energy, we do microfinance,
Right.
but still there are some core key foundations that can be learned and exchanged from our various subsectors.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear. And I know you're very passionate about financial inclusion. So to you, in your opinion, and I think you've seen a lot, what makes a financial inclusion initiative successful?
I think we need to always, go back to the source. I think what makes an initiative successful is who are the people who are leading it.
Yes.
We are international investors. We are lucky to operate from emerged markets, but our role is to go into emerging countries and find those great entrepreneurs,
Right.
those competent entrepreneurs who happen to unfortunately not have a lot of funding opportunities, and back them up. So for me, the first success is the management team, the promoters, the people who had the idea. I
Okay.
think that's one. Second, I think what works is when you grow, and as you grow, you accompany your growth with good and strong governance.
Okay.
And let's never let a nice business idea be only concentrated in the hands of a few people.
Right.
It needs to be something that gets more sophisticated. It needs to be something that has risk management framework, because at the end of the day, financial inclusion is a financial service industry. So
Right.
we're dealing with credits. We need to lend the right amount. We need to look at repayment capacity ratios. This is a very technical sector. So
Right.
making sure that risk management and governance structure is well accompanying the growth of a company is a second key ingredient for success. And then I think my third point would be, if you have a social intent,
Yes.
again, it's not sufficient just to have it in your head. You need to institutionalize it, because
Okay.
today it's easy to maybe find those farmers and give them the right amount of money they need. Tomorrow there will be competition, and maybe you'll be incentivized to just lend them a little bit more to make them happy and retain them, but maybe they don't need that much money.
Okay.
And so if you institutionalize a very rigorous social strategy from day one, and
Right.
you talk social mission the same way that you talk financial performance day one, that's the key ingredient as well for your success.
So how do you think you would advise those who are looking to attract more foreign investors? And then when it comes to how much control or how much influence investors are searching for when investing, what would you have to say about that?
I think we want to back people who, again, have a great business idea to solve a financial exclusion problem. We don't want the institution to be perfect, because it's our role to not only invest capital but also
Right.
to be a hands-on co-pilot of these institutions after we invest.
Yes.
But we want them to be transparent with us. So we appreciate institutions that show through their accounting practices, their reporting practices, that they have nothing to hide.
Okay.
We want institutions that again, are led by people who are passionate about what they do, but they're also very open to learn new ideas. I think this is very key. Ultimately, what will make an investment a success is this, whether there is a successful partnership between a management team, a board, and shareholders. So this is what we would typically want to look for in an institution. Now, indeed, Incofin, is an impact investor. What does that mean? It means that our approach is capital plus.
Yes.
If I invest equity, I'm not only providing you capital. I'm also hopefully going to provide you my participation, my views, my insights, my connections, in order to help our partnership grow together. So we would typically want to sit at the board of directors. We want to typically help the institution with technical assistance as well. So I think we see our approach around equity investment as a holistic one that would involve capital, hands-on governance, and technical assistance.
Right. I think there's a lot of excellent takeaways. So thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
All right.